This video is made possible by the EA Creator Network. The software in this video is not final. Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video. So this video is kind of gonna be a review, although part of me feels like I can't give this game pack a full review because it is so utterly broken that I can't even give like my final opinions, but I'm gonna share with you guys what I think based off of what I've experienced throughout my gameplay. And I wanted to go ahead and, talk about Create a Sim and Build By. So as you guys can see, I'm showing you guys the footage of Create a Sim. So I wanted to go through it very quickly. I didn't want to spend too much time on here. I'll say overall, I feel like Create a Sim is really good. The assets are really nice. Although again, masculine frame seems to get less, especially this time with only getting one hair as opposed to the feminine frame. We got three of basically the same hair, two with variations of the veil / birdcage thing. I honestly wish that instead of doing a set birdcage veil, whatever it's called, on the hair, I'd rather it be a separate accessory so you can use different hairs. I kind of didn't like that you only have one option there. I would have rather have more veil options as in the hat accessory or something, which would have been, I think, a lot better. I also will say I do really like the makeup. I feel like the eyeliner and the eyeshadow was for once done really well. Usually anytime makeup is released, it's very, not that great. Again, the feminine frame got so many full outfits. I wasn't expecting many tops and bottoms. Another thing I want to add is when they add, the addition of rainbow swatches, I wish they were a little bit more not so in your face. I don't know, it feels like a bit too much. I know that there is just very much color blocking of the rainbow, which I mean, maybe some people like it, but I wish it was done in a more I don't know, I think there was a dress in here that I showed that was a little bit more of a gradient, like a very light pastel gradient. That I feel like would have looked a lot better on, the rainbow swatches. I don't know, it feels like a bit too much. That might just be my opinion, and I'll probably just not use those swatches, but overall, I feel like cast was pretty good. I think seeing the other swatches of some of the dresses made me like the assets a little bit better than what I saw in the trailer, which I'm happy about, but still we got way more for the feminine frame than the masculine frame, which, is a little bit upsetting. And then moving on to accessories, we got 4 new rings for our feminine frame, which I mean, I guess you could just uncheck the feminine tag, and if you wanted to use it on your masculine sims, you definitely can. Again, shoes, I was definitely very bummed about because I really wanted more heels, and the fact that we got not even one pair of heels made me really bummed out. But here are the assets for the kids and the toddlers, so we got a couple items here and there, but yeah, that's pretty much it for cast. Moving on to build and buy mode. So I would say that the items that we got are pretty good. I mean, they're very fitting for weddings and, the venues and all that stuff. So I think we got a lot of good items there, especially with the chairs with the flowers on the back and just random decor here and there. I would say that this feels like a very much better luxury party stuff pack, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that we got here kind of like what luxury party had. I'd say especially with the buffet tables and some of the seating and the tables. So I don't know, it feels very much like kind of the same thing a little bit, especially with luxury party not having a lot of stuff in it. Then we have a lot of wedding arches. I want to say that I really like that we have a lot of variation there, because I mean, we've been kind of stuck with the same, I think it's 2 wedding arches. I mean, we've got one with cottage living, right? So I guess there's 3. So now we have a bigger variety of them. I won't lie, I'm a little bit upset that I didn't see my nice white long buffet table, but it is what it is. I just thought, since it's kind of a classic in The Sims, that maybe we would see her again, but unfortunately that is not the case, which I mean is okay. And another thing I really wanted was balloons, but I mean, I guess you wouldn't really see balloons at weddings. I mean, maybe you would, but I think it would still be a little cute addition to have. I mean, yeah, you could definitely decorate with balloons if you wanted to, but I totally forgot about the curtains, and so I added them, but then now I'm thinking about it, I think I actually forgot a light to put in here, so I think I'm missing a couple items regardless. But here we have build, we have the terracotta kind of walls, clay-like, and then we have a few doors, archway, some windows, which I really do like the windows. They're really pretty. I love the ones especially not without the stained glass, but more so with the kind of iron detailing type thing, like I don't know what it's called, but we have some fencing, and then we have some other various items. I also wanted to show the new sand terrain paint that we got because that's a new thing. So yeah, that is pretty much everything for build and buy. So now let's talk about the world Tartosa. So I want to say right off the bat that this world is pretty big compared to the majority of the game pack worlds that we've gotten. I do believe Strangerville is still the biggest world, but most of the other worlds have, you know, a smaller amount of lots. This one has 9, so it's a pretty decently sized world. It feels kind of like how big, I mean, expansion pack worlds are, like, as of late. I mean, some of them only have, like, you know, not that many lots anymore. So this world has 2 districts. We have Terra Amorosa, which is the part that includes the waterfall, that big tree that they showed in the trailer. You can also go fishing around here and, like, walk around, and it's really cute over there. And then the other district is called Porto Luminoso. So this one is the area that has, like, that water fountain. You can go quote-unquote shopping there, city halls there, which is kind of missable if you don't already know that it exists. And then you can get food, and the beach is also there, so it is kind of a cute spot as well. So that is pretty much the world. I did go ahead and share the families that are here. So we have the Markovich family, and their backstory connects to the other family that is placed in this world, which is the Laurent family. So they kind of have some tension there because of the whole wedding scene and Lucia's former lover Hector. So if you guys want to read the backstory fully, you definitely can go ahead and pause and do so. So as mentioned, we have the Laurent family. So I don't know why I'm getting the vibes that they are like the goths in an alternate universe, because that boy, you can't tell me that he doesn't remind you of Alexander Goth. And then that could be Bella and Mortimer, and then Cassandra, and then I don't know who that would be. But basically, they kind of run the whole wedding scene here in Tartosa, it seems like. So that is that family. We also have 2 families that are not in the world. I'm not entirely sure how you say their name. Face? I'm so sorry. So they're a hopeless romantic who spends their time selling flowers down at the village square, where they're constantly reminded of their single status. And then lastly, we have Dominique and Camille. And we pretty much already know their story based off of the trailer. So I believe these are the only 2 families that are not in the world, but are like a part of Tartosa. So now on to the gameplay portion of the video. So this is kind of like a roller coaster. We start off pretty good and then everything just goes downhill. So starting off, we have the wedding event option. So you can either do this through your phone or do it through the calendar. I believe the calendar, you actually are able to schedule the time, and as opposed to calling on the phone, you can do the wedding event immediately. So I wanted to do a few of the events. So the ones that I focused on in this video was the engagement dinner, batch party, rehearsal dinner, and of course the wedding event. So as you plan the events, you have a certain amount of activities that you can go ahead and take part in, like drinks, dancing, making toasts, all that stuff. And then I went to go to the other events, and you have the same exact options. The only one that I believe that has more is the actual wedding event itself, which I mean makes sense because there's more things that you would be doing at a wedding as opposed to at these other events. Now, the only thing I noticed is that if you are doing this through the calendar, you aren't able to host a reception and a wedding on the same day, which doesn't make sense because technically you would have a reception after the wedding. So I don't know why that doesn't work, which is kind of weird. So I'm guessing that maybe if you do it through the phone that it would work, but I can't 100% guarantee that. I haven't checked it. But essentially this is exactly how you plan your event. You get your Sims of Honor, all those other roles, and then you can also adjust your Sims attire and what your guests are going to be wearing and the wedding cake and all that stuff. One thing I also want to point out is you can come back to this screen before the wedding happens and adjust things as you want. So now that our parties are planned and everything, the first thing that I wanted to go ahead and do is go over to the cake booth stall thing, because I was like, oh, like I want to go pick out my cake for the wedding, right? Well, wrong. So I thought that this was, you know, the place that you go get, you know, taste the cake and then pick the cake. That's at least what I got from the trailer. No, you just go and you know, taste cake. You don't actually select the cake there, unless I'm missing something, but I did not see a way to get that to work. So on the other hand, I do like the fact that you have the option to feed the cake to the other sim, so that's a little cute. So now when your party is ready, you have the engagement dinner is about to begin, and then you can go ahead and start, and it'll take you to the location. So I took it upon myself during the engagement party to go and start asking Sims they want to be the Sims of Honor, Ring Bearer, Flower Pile, and all that stuff. Unfortunately, Bella didn't accept my offer, so that was kind of upsetting, but you know, it's fine. She didn't want to be a part of it. It's okay. I ended up finding a replacement. I asked her kids to be a part of the wedding and all that, so that was pretty much it. I felt like the engagement dinner was kind of boring. I actually didn't even do the dinner part of the engagement dinner because I couldn't figure out like how to do that. Turns out there was a buffet table, but that's whatever. One thing I do want to add about these events is I really do like that they have the option where you can call the attendees to a certain activity. It makes it so much easier to have everybody gather around, of course, when it works. But I really like that aspect. Although when I was having Agnes give out a toast, nobody really, you know, wanted to take part. So that kind of sucked until later. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that the toast situation is bugged. So that's a little unfortunate. So moving on to something that's kind of cute. You're able to draw in the sand. So you can draw a heart, a smiley face, or I believe it was a star. And with that, you get little moodlets, which I thought was cute. And if you do the star, you get an inspired moodlet. Another thing you can look for on the beach is the sand piles, which harbor a message in a bottle, which actually gives you lore. So I did end up finding one, but there is a whole collection of them, which I didn't really go in and like explore that fully, so I didn't want to like spoil it too much. So next up on my list was to get my flower bouquet because of course I need that, and then also go, you know, quote unquote wedding dress shopping and suit shopping. So we head over to the stall and we buy a nice little bouquet, which you get a good amount of options. And I also believe that if you do have seasons installed, you are able to make a flower bouquet. I didn't actually test this, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Do not quote me in case that's not correct, but I think you can. So with the whole shopping for your wedding attire, obviously you can't really shop. You just basically go into Create a Sim and change your outfit in there, which is kind of disappointing. Like I wish that there was some sort of sense of like actually, you know, having that excitement to go and find your perfect dress or, you know, your perfect suit or whatever the attire is. But here you just kind of go into Create a Sim and, you know, you change your outfit and you're done. It would have been even nicer if like maybe they changed the background to like kind of look or represent a bridal shop or a suit shop or whatever it is. I think that would have been like a little nice touch. And I also went to go check the tree to see if there was any secret holes or if you could do anything with the tree, and you literally cannot do absolutely anything. Oh, I just realized that it makes a heart with the roots. Wait, that's kind of cute. And it looks like there's people hugging kind of in the tree, low-key. Anyways, that's beside the point. And then we have the batch party, which was basically like the engagement dinner with the title batch party. It had the same exact activities, and although I did do more this time, it just felt exactly the same. Like it wasn't really that exciting. It was actually pretty boring, and I really wish that they would have added the option to have dancers appear or whatever, because even they have firefighters that can come to your house and like take out your fire, but sometimes they'll give you a dance, because that happened to me in my Snowy Escape series, and I will never forget that moment because I was shocked. But that's what I would like. Why not give us something that kind of adds that, like, some more excitement? Like, it was just, it felt very kind of meh. And I wish there was more options for activities as opposed to the same ones for every single event. So it just felt very not exciting. Something that I did like about this is the fact that you can go ahead and bake your own wedding cake, and there are so many options and like different color variations. I was just very overwhelmed. It makes me want to own a bakery in the game and have like a wedding cake shop or something like that. I think that'd be really cool. So at first I thought that maybe you need to be in the baking skill or have gourmet cooking. I think it's just basically regular cooking skill, and then you can, as you have a higher level, the more you can make. So I had her max her skill because I wanted to go ahead and see all the options. So once you're done, you have the option to select the cake for your wedding ceremony, or you could even sell it to a local bakery. So once you select the cake for your wedding ceremony, it'll automatically input it into your wedding event plans, so in the calendar. The only thing I noticed that, I don't know if it was a bug or what, but every time I would go in and then leave and then come back into that menu, my cake was gone. So I don't know, and I kept making more cakes. I think I made like 2 or 3 cakes, something like that. So I don't know what was up with that. So you don't really have too many new interactions, although you can enthuse about the wedding, or you can go ahead and express doubts about the weddings. And then I noticed that there's a new thing called the grapevine gossip, so I guess it's kind of like the gossip around Terrasota. What the heck does this world call again? Tartosa? Tartosa. There we go. I think, right? I don't know. Then we had the rehearsal dinner, which was, you know, kind of chill. We just ate dinner and then I had them dance, but, you know, now on to the wedding because that's what we're here for, right? So let's just move straight to the wedding. So first off, we arrived to the wedding venue and nobody's wearing their formal attire, no wedding dresses, no suits in sight. So I went ahead and used MC Command Center to go ahead and change everybody's outfits because I was like, no honey, like this is formal. So that was already one thing that didn't work out. So after that, I wanted to get my guests to, you know, gather around the aisle, sit down or whatever, because you have all these options where you can control basically what your guests do at the wedding, which I don't entirely mind, but I wish there was a little bit more autonomy. I mean, there is some that I noticed, but it's nothing like entirely crazy. But then we have everybody arriving into the room and majority of the people ended up sitting in that back corner of the room. I don't know what was going on. I was telling them to take their seats. Some of them took the seat, some of them didn't. But then here's the part that I'm kind of not a fan of, is sending certain Sims down the aisle, like the roles that these certain Sims have. So like Sims of Honor, the Flower Pal, the Ring Bearer. I don't like the fact that you have to control that. I feel like that should be something that like you go and like start the actual wedding ceremony where your Sims go up and everything kind of just like follows its order, you know what I mean? Instead of having to, you know, control one Sim, then the next Sim, then the next Sim, then the next Sim. It's just like too much for me. I can't. I really do not like that aspect. I had my Sim go down the aisle as the Flower Pal and she ended up walking down and then dropped the flowers right before the actual arch itself and then just walked away. So that was kind of frustrating because for one, she's the only one that I think worked, and then maybe the Ring Bearer, and then the Sims of Honor did not work. They wouldn't want to go up or anything like that. Like I don't even know if the Sims of Honor actually even stand up where at the wedding arch or what, because it didn't work. Then I went ahead and sent down my main Sim down the aisle. He did his thing and I was like, okay, this is like cute. So I was expecting him to like take his spot like at the arch. No, the dude walks to the side. Like, where are you going? And then I'm pretty sure he leaves after that. And I'm just like, huh? Then we have the Ring Bearer. He went down the aisle. It was all fine and dandy. That worked. But the thing is like, they don't take any certain spots. They just kind of do their job and then they leave. So then I wanted my girl to go ahead and grab her bouquet of flowers and walk down the aisle, which didn't actually work. She wasn't able to walk down the aisle with her bouquet. She had to walk down without it, which was a little bit unfortunate. So after that, I was like, okay, let's just get married. So you have the option to exchange vows and you have different variations. You can just exchange vows and kiss, exchange vows with officiant, or exchange vows with officiant and kiss. I selected that one, but the officiant didn't get up. My Sim walked away from her art. It's like she's not even getting married. Eventually, they ended up walking up and they started doing their vows. And let me also add, the guests that were standing at the back and would not take a seat, even though I added extra seats, they looked bored as hell. Like, why am I even here? Like, oh my God, I'm falling asleep. I was just like, what is going on this day? Like, this was supposed to be a special day. And then here comes the exchanging of the rings. So she does it again, and then does it again and again and again and again. I'm like, are we on a time loop? Like, what is going on here? So that is clearly broken. So we love that. And then of course, right as I turn around to look at the guests, they finally kiss. And I'm like, I missed it. So I was like, okay, let me redo that because I wanted to see, you know, what the kiss looks like, right? So I think I heard that there's a chance that they will bump noses when they kiss. And I think there's another variation that I got earlier when I was testing something where they like kind of do like the passionate kiss type thing, although that one was really buggy. Like if I have the footage, I'll show it because it was just kind of weird. So then I was ready to do our first dance, so I wanted to obviously get the guests to come and watch us. Nobody showed up. I think maybe 2 Sims came, but I think it was literally just us having our first dance, which, you know, I really like the fact that you can have a slow dance. I really always wanted that. The only thing is that the slow dance is tied to the dance floor, which I am not a fan of because I think it would have been cute if we were able to actually, you know, dance with our Sim at any moment, you know, slow dance. I don't think it should be tied to a floor. So one thing I was able to do with only 2 of the guests is have them throw rice, which I thought was cute. It would have been nicer if like it kind of happened after they were like walking down the aisle or something. I finally said it's time for cake, and let me tell you, why is it when I placed down the cake, that's when everybody appeared. One thing I want to mention about the cake is I don't know, this isn't the cake that she actually made. I don't know what happened to the cake she made and that I set up as my wedding cake. It literally was non-existent. Instead, I had 2 spoiled cakes that I made previously, so I don't know where the cake is supposed to be. Is it supposed to go in my inventory after I bake it? I don't know. But anyways, the Sims were grabbing the cake even later on with the topper on. My Sims never ended up cutting the wedding cake at all. I asked them many times. No wedding cake was cut in this video at all. So I was upset, but you know what? It's whatever. Who wants to have a fully functioning wedding? Not I. I tried it with a different cake to see if maybe it would work. It didn't work, so I was like, okay, the least I can do is feed the cake to Elise. So we ended up doing that, which was, you know, again, it's a cute little moment. And then later on, I was like, okay, you know what, let me see if I can have somebody, you know, give a toast. I tried to have Agatha, you know, do a toast again, and she glitched out. It didn't work. So I was like, okay, whatever. That's not working either. Something I noticed on the dance floor was wedding group dance. And I was like, oh, like you need to have 2 Sims to perform this interaction. So I grouped up a couple Sims, and then after I did that, it didn't exist on the dance floor anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I guess there's no option for that. I wanted to see what it was because I have no idea. So I will never know. But in the spirit of dancing, I wanted my kids to dance with my adult Sims. And as you can see, they glitch out, like they extend upwards, and it's so weird. And so I wanted to check again, like slow dancing is really cute, but it's very short. Like they dance for like a few seconds and then they stop, which I wish was a little longer. But then I had my other Sim dance with her dad, and when she came on the dance floor, she was like fully extended, like being really weird, like she was glitched, and then it like fixes itself when she starts dancing with her dad. So the last thing I wanted to do at the wedding is throw her bouquet. So I asked everybody to gather for the bouquet toss. Nobody gathered. Nobody cared. They were like, bouquet toss? What? I don't know what that is. I don't care. So nobody gathered. I asked many times, nothing happened. I ended up getting the bouquet out. I had her, you know, get ready to throw it. Nothing. Crickets. I was just like, right, so this is how weddings are supposed to go. Literally nothing at the wedding worked, and I'm hoping that we get, you know, fixes and everything like that we need, because right now I feel like it's very overwhelming at how many things you have to control at the wedding and the amount of things that don't work. Like the other events kind of were okay, you know, they were kind of boring, but like they worked mostly. The wedding event itself is so broken, and I feel like that is the main aspect of this pack. So the fact that I couldn't even explore it to its full extent, and here we are, you know, my Sims having a wedding for like 12 plus hours, and we've barely gotten to do anything because nothing works. So yeah, it's a little frustrating for sure. So I basically rage quit because I was like, there's no point. I ended the wedding and I save and quit and I was done. Basically, that is the pack at its current state, as in what I have available to me. That is not the final software as I'm being told. So I'm hoping that everything will be working. Like, because the thing is like, I'm already thinking about future patches. I just don't want this pack to be something that's constantly broken, because people's Sims are having weddings all the time. And I did want to add that, because somebody asked me on Twitter whether or not if you can still play like the base game version of the wedding. And the answer is not really. You can avoid having all of the options. You don't have to, you know, get your Sims of Honor or, you know, the cake or anything like that. You can still just have like a basic wedding, except you're not going to have the base game version of it. Which is also another thing, is the wedding doesn't feel very like exciting to me, because I mean, again, it's broken right now, but from what I did experience, I miss that music from base game, like where you kind of like have the confetti drop and whatever. Wish that was a thing. I hope that things again get fixed, because at its current state, I cannot recommend this pack. So I'm hoping that when it does get publicly released, that they have a patch go out and fix everything, because it's what we need. So I wanted to add this quick little addition to the end. So these are things that I would have liked to see. So instead of micromanaging everything, Sims take their place, and you click on the wedding arch and you start the ceremony, which I did mention briefly during the wedding. That would make it so much easier. It would make it so that you don't have to click so many times. You just click, start the wedding, everybody takes their places, everything's set, and you're done. Everybody does their thing. In Sims 3, once you finish getting married, the Sims are throwing rice, cheering you on, everything. Why can't that be a thing here, as opposed to telling your guests to do that? Another thing is, I kind of wish there was more romantic interactions. With it being a pack revolving around love, I feel like new romance stuff would have been better, even a new woohoo. Like, I was thinking that maybe that that hot air balloon could have been like a secret woohoo spot or something like that. Like you could find a hot air balloon that's just chilling and then your Sims like kind of go up, kind of like the rocket ship. That would have been really cute. Another thing is like more preparation for the weddings, because I feel like you're kind of prepping the wedding for your Sim, so they don't actually do any of the prepping unless they, you know, they bake the cake for the wedding, right? But it'd be cute if you would be able to like actually have your Sim sit down and write wedding vows. This would also be a perfect pack for a wedding planner career. I don't know why they kind of missed out on the option. I get that this is a game pack, so they're not going to be able to include everything, but I just feel like this would have been the best pack to include a wedding planner career, or even have your Sim be able to contact a wedding planner and plan the wedding that way as opposed to doing it through the calendar. Something that would have been nice, because I know some people want drama at their weddings and doesn't want everything to be so happy and happily ever after. I mean, of course, like some people just want a messy wedding, right? So what I think would have been cool is if they added the option on the arch to be able to leave the altar without actually having a negative relationship with their fiance, because sometimes maybe you have second thoughts and you're like, okay, maybe I can't do this, right? Like maybe you could have it not be so perfect. And then also be able to have other Sims be able to object the wedding. I think that would have been so funny. More so if you had somebody who's a lover of one of the Sims that's getting married. I think that would have been really funny. Some people might not want that, but I feel like there should be an option to enable like autonomous disruptions or something like that. I think that would have been a nice addition, because some people want drama and spice. So like, give it to them. Again, I already mentioned this, but adding dancers to batch parties. Last thing would be a proper honeymoon event. We already have so many of those events. Adding a honeymoon wouldn't have hurt, and then being able to add activities to that of things that you could do at the honeymoon, whether that be in Tartosa or, you know, somewhere else that you want to go. So that is pretty much it as far as this video. I know this is pretty long, but I kind of wanted to share my experience and what I was playing with. So I'm hoping that this is a better experience once the pack is released. I might do an updated video on the wedding and hope that it's working, but right now base game weddings are looking real good right now. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are cautious when it comes to buying the pack. So yeah, that is it. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go. I'm sorry that this video is long, but I just wanted to spit everything out and, you know, give you guys all my thoughts and ideas about this pack as a whole at its current state. So again, software is not final. I just want to make sure I reiterate that. So yeah, I'm gonna head out. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in a new video very soon. Bye guys.